Hi, welcome to this episode of Dyslexia Solutions. I have a very special guest today. His name is Marvin Spruill, and we're going to talk to you about how dyslexia is not a learning disability, but it is a learning difference. And as you've seen some of my other interviews with my dyslexic genius friends, you're going to see how creativity is paramount in this man. So Marvin, come on to the stage. Let's introduce you
Okay.
to our audience.
Okay.
Hey, so we've chatted a little bit about some of the things Marvin has done in school. He didn't know that he had dyslexia until later on. But Marvin, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience and talk about the first thing that comes to your heart or your mind that you'd like to share with them, and then talk about your transition from where you lived, going to New York, as we were talking, and coming to California.
Well,
Starters.
basically, I'm from a little small country town, tobacco, corn, town, back roads, what they call it, the center of a little small town America. Um, my school days in terms of high school was I did not know I had dyslexia. Um, I knew that my spelling was not where it should be. I was a good reader, but my spelling was always a problem. But I got by day. And so when we had these talent contests, I would always win them most of the time. And I could draw. Uh, I used to draw, but I was a big sci-fi guy, and Captain Kirk Enterprise, and the day that the Earth stood still. I could draw the ships. I could draw the people. I could draw anybody just by a visual point of view. I could draw anything. I designed suits and all that kind of stuff. I looked at totally in a three-dimensional world, and I could design suits, and I wrote songs and sang hillbilly music that I grew up with. And my mother took me to New York City when I was about 14, 15 years old. So I saw the big skyscrapers and so it was that took my mind to another level that this is the place I need to be. I need to be one of those people of a moving the shakers who create things and be a part of things. So New York City gave me no limitations of what I could do. And
That's nice.
so and then my big heroes were Charlie Pride, Millsap. I went to Nashville pursuing my country music career. So I drove on those Greyhound buses, which I'd say I never get on a bus again. And I ride all these buses to follow the dream. So I think the dream took preference of my spelling situation because I could not totally fill out applications like I wanted to, and the words would not come out right. So that kind of hindered me from jobs. But when I got into the acting part, my creativity took preference of everything, and I was able to overcome those hurdles and work on that, overcome the hurdles of what they say I could not do and what I couldn't be to what I could do, being creatively doing what I need to do. So so I was always around artist people, music people, people in the field of acting, because that's where I excelled at most of all.
You said that your mother really believed in you, right?
Yes,
Very
yes,
supportive. Do you want to
yes.
talk a little bit about how she showed her support?
Well, my mother, in those times when I didn't have money, my mother sent me money. Okay. She always was courage to buy me a ticket to wherever I need to go. And she always encouraged me to be my best. If I want to sing hillbilly music, she said, I love Loretta Lynn to sing hillbilly music. That's what you want to do it. So she was always a word when I got depressed, when God rest her soul, when I didn't think I could make it, she was always that voice in the back of my mind that told me I could pick up the phone and call and told her what my situation was. So she was always that supportive person in my life because she saw my talent early on when I was a younger man to encourage me to continue. I went 100 miles when I was 18 years old and sat in the audience and gave Ronnie Millsap an antique radio and got behind stage and talked to him. And then I set my suitcase on Charlie Pride's doorstep when I was 19 years old. So these are the things that I was doing to continue moving forward, despite of I may have a learning or a disability or this issue with the spelling. It's not that I couldn't spell. I had difficult understanding certain things, and I will make up words as I go along. So this dyslexic has not been totally a hindrance. It's been a blessing to me to find my true talents and my true direction that I wanted to go. And I still suffer with it. I still deal with it today. I still deal with it today.
We find the adults that are dyslexic, even though they can read, when they go to college, they still struggle with spelling.
Yes.
I've had teachers tell me who said, I think I'm dyslexic because they just have a difficult time spelling.
Yes.
So fortunately, we have, technology to help with that. But what really impacts, what touches me is your self-esteem was not hurt, or how did you feel about your self-esteem when you were in school?
Even though I didn't have a low self-esteem, but I hid a lot of stuff within me. And I wouldn't let a lot of people know because they do, oh, you dumb, you stupid, I wouldn't let a lot of people know. People knew me by my creativity. So I let that shine.
Good.
More so than my teachers knew what the situation was. But I just let that particular thing shine. And that's the reason I was able to create the Star Trek Enterprise, the only one that had the Star Trek Enterprise.
And did you create that for the theater at your school?
No, I created for a talent contest. We had to do this for a class.
All right.
We all had to bring in a project. So my project was the Starship Enterprise. And I designed it exactly like you saw it on television, out of cardboard boxes. And I painted it blue and all that kind of stuff, and put the Enterprise on the side.
That's really nice. One of the other things I noticed, I was looking into some of your background with the NAACP, and then you're very involved with that, and you really have a heart to help the African American tap into their roots. You want to share a little bit about that?
Well, being a part of country music, there was a chapter of a story that was not written, was basically hidden in the country music community, that African Americans had nothing to do with country music. And that's totally not true, because the D. Ford Bailey helped shape and form, and he influenced George Z. Hayes to name the Grand Ole Opry what it is, because you're talking about the Louisiana Hayride. So he named the Grand Ole Opry. D. Ford Bailey was influenced into that. So D. Ford Bailey was the first man on the Grand Ole, African American on the Grand Ole Opry, back in when the Grand Ole Opry was doing the hayrides and stuff. So when you talk about the history of the contributions that were made from African Americans, is immeasurable, because the banjo came from Africa, called the Akanti. And it was the Gibson Company who made it into the 3/4 strings you see today. But it has African roots. The violin is not totally European. That also can come from Gambia, and the other instrument come from Gambia. So then, everybody know who Charlie Pride was. Selling second to Elvis Presley in total sales on RCA. But the influence of the African American roots that were not totally known to the rest of the country and music world, because a lot of people felt that because of Jim Crow and what Black people had went through in the South, the African Americans had nothing to do with country music, and that was totally not true, because we influenced Hank Williams Jr. said if it wasn't for an African American named Rufus T. Top Payne, who taught his father how to play the blues on a guitar, wouldn't be no Hank Williams. The Carter family, the 50 Years of Carter family was taught by Leslie Riddles, Bill Monroe, Homeless Techniques by a Black mountaineer called Arnold Schultz, who taught him how to play the banjo. So it goes on to more and more and more, and now you see that history of the intertwining between the roots of country music and the African American contributions in country music has been great, because a lot of the artists, even Ernie Tubbs, was produced by an African American, bringing he the one that first put the electric guitar into the country music, but he was produced by African American out of New York City. So there was a lot of influences that the African Americans did in country music that was totally suppressed by the country music industry in terms of the roots, because we are still dealing with that, what you call, it's beginning to open up now, but back in the day when I was there dealing with it was very difficult for a lot of African Americans, because a lot of the people was there who was still practicing the Civil War.
You know, one of the things, the reason I'm so interested in the music, you know, so many names, people out there who are into music as well are going to recognize the names you've mentioned.
Right.
But we're having a real hard time getting music into the schools to help the kids who struggle with reading.
Right.
That's what sets me apart from other educators is I developed a music app. Now it plays classical music in the left ear and spelling exercises in the right ear. And it's meant to accompany my step-by-step reading program. And that's all on my website. But I just know music has such a calming effect on the brain of a dyslexic person. And I've had a middle school student tell me once, I'm adopted, I have ADHD, and I am dyslexic. And he said, you know, I love my family. I take Ritalin to help my ADHD, but the music is what calms me down and helps me learn. And I just, you know, I've had principals tell me that they've let their classes, special ed classes, listen to music in their left ear, and it does calm the class down where they can focus. So,
back in the day, schools had skills where you can become a carpenter.
That's right.
They taught you how to do metals work. They prepared you for the job market.
Yeah.
So if you needed piano lessons, you was a musician, you could take piano lessons. If you was art, there was an art teacher teaching you how to draw. There was all those things. So when they took that out of the school, they're dealing a very big injustice to the students, because when we were young, back in the early, the internet didn't come on to 1996. I'm talking about the graphic parts of it. But when we were young, we was very creative. We had things to do. We could do creative things because we could do it in school. You was taught music in schools. They taught all sorts of different drama classes in the school. So you had a purpose of wanting to do. When you found your purpose, what you really want to do, what America says, they talk about the American dream. Anybody from anywhere can do anything they want to do. This is the American dream. Back in the 80s, there was 3 channels, Channel 7, Channel 9, I think Channel 2. And when I used to turn on Channel 2, before it went off, dude, they used to have the astronaut bouncing on the moon. American people never set you by. Don't give up until you drink out a silver cup. The highway is the sky. You're on my way. So I always took that to heart. So that was my motivation as well, because that and the schools gave me an opportunity in terms of before you leap into college. You still had a skill that they taught you, whether it was carpenting or metalworking or whatever. You still had a direction when you left school.
Yeah. Did you
now
go to
that they have
college?
taken it out, what they have crushed some of the hopes and dreams, because a lot of these students don't have no direction. They don't know where to go.
Yeah.
So they fall short of what they really want to do because they don't have the purpose. And what my mother drilled into me is always dream big. No matter what your circumstance, keep the dream alive, no matter what your dream is.
You know, it's really
I
true
think that
that
helped me.
it's really true that the parents are the advocates, the mothers, the dads, recognizing your child's interest and their talents. I know they have career assessments that we did in middle school, and we have them in high school, and those will help direct children to their interest for careers. I don't know if that's nationwide, if those are as easily accessible, but I love when parents can tap into the interests of their children and encourage.
So it's certainly important, very important, for a parent to take interest into her son or daughter, because that son and daughter got talent somewhere.
Yes.
And if the parent can find that talent early on, they can cultivate it.
Yes.
They can take it and help it grow and shape it, and then help it expose it. Like if you knew your kid loved dancing, she's the ballerina.
That's right.
If take her to ballerina classes, develop that talent that she has within her. If he is good with his hands and he build houses, develop that technique within him in his houses and help him to become what he was destined to do. Because everybody has a purpose and everybody has a destiny that they must fulfill.
That's right.
As you live, as you was born, as you go out of this world, you have a destiny that you have to fulfill. And if you can tap into that destiny.
Share with the audience what you're doing today with marketing that you're doing, or is that something else you want to share?
Sure.
Talent.
The Country Soul Music magazine that I have a couple of magazines and television show. I am helping independent artists now to be able to succeed in whatever they want to succeed. I've gotten plaques for my contribution.
There we go.
This is the artist that we helped get up on the 13 of the Billboard chart. This was presented to me by put my name on it.
Yes. Marketing by TMG Street Pride.
So this is one.
TMG Entertainment. Yes.
Right. This is the artist that we helped.
Very nice.
And we done 3 songs with her again.
And her name, tell me her name because this will be on a podcast.
Her
And
name is Kendra. Kendra
okay.
and the Bunnies.
Kendra. Okay.
Kendra and the Bunnies.
Very nice.
And so we was able to expose her with her single. This is her 3rd song, Kendra and the
Okay.
Bunnies, was presented to me by TMG Entertainment in terms of where her record was.
Okay. And the bunny.
So these are if you look, as you can see, if you look at that, you can see the magazine article that was done on me
Okay.
by Hollywood Weekly Magazine. And that article basically would told a story. It told my story of my life story, just a few about the cardboard condominium and all that kind of stuff. Then pursuing in my career and pursuing what I want to, just a little bit
Okay.
of which I have a book coming out. I got a book coming out called The Country Soul Music, My Story, about my journey towards country music.
Good.
And
Good.
it's going to be also a part of there up top where I talk about my dyslexia and what did not hinder me from doing what I want to do
Excellent.
and those things. So this is just a little bit of journey that I've taken and the places that I've gone. I've traveled all over the world. Music took me all over the world. I
Beautiful.
played with New Family Band, who was MC Hammer Band, and they opened up for Prince. I worked with an artist who opened up for David Allen Coe and Dwight Yoakam, those type of artists. So I've had a lot of fun and I've got a chance to see the world. And my dyslexic did not become a hindrance. It became a blessing to me.
Good.
Because it allows me my creativity to come out, and it has helped me travel and go places that I've never been before.
There you have it.
That's and I'm still working on. I got a book called Dyslexic for Adults that I'm still read and everything. So these are certain things that I did that I'm doing today.
Good.
As a record company owner, as a magazine owner, as a the Country Soul Music Awards, those different type of things, and a lot of different type of, I would say, accessories and stuff that I'm doing. So this has been good for me to continue moving forward, continue with the dream,
That is so
continue
inspiring.
pushing forward.
I think that's going to be really inspiring to our audience as well, because, we have to quit looking at dyslexia as sad.
Right, right.
When I went to the public schools and they would just talk about if they were so sad that their kids had dyslexia, and they need to look at it, reframe it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at their genius. Let's see the creativity of these kids.
Spielberg got dyslexic.
That's right.
Oprah Winfrey got dyslexic. Whoopi Goldberg got dyslexic. So you have a lot of people, astronauts, people resting NASA. If you talk to them, a lot of them are dyslexic. Because what dyslexic brings out, it brings out the genius
That's
in
right.
a person.
Yep.
See, God has a way of bringing something out of you that you may not see. And you may have this, what you call problem, but another blessing comes on the other side.
That's right.
So to me, even though I have still dealing with dyslexic, I have not allowed it to become a curse. It has become a blessing to me because I found the precious gift.
That's beautiful.
I found a precious gift
God doesn't make
within
mistakes.
that. Huh?
I said, God doesn't make mistakes.
No. I
Yeah.
found I'm grateful for it
Good, good.
because if without it, I may not have pursued what I pursued. And the journeys that I took and the journeys that I've taken and the blessings that have come from it, I'm happy that it happened to me.
Well, one of these
Because
days, I hope to meet you face to face.
sure,
We're
sure.
both in California. I bet we would be doing a lot of laughing too. You're
Yes,
a lot of fun.
yes, yes.
Okay, we're going to wrap this up.
Okay,
And Marvin, I want to thank you for your time. I'm so
okay.
appreciative to get to know you. We met, well, I was introduced to Marvin through a mutual friend, and he's going to be helping them with some marketing. So that's really exciting.
Yes,
But I want to
yes,
share before I close two of the books that I have on Amazon. One of them is A Message of Hope.
yes.
And this is all the creativity in the brain, all the different synapses firing. It's called A Message of Hope. And
Okay.
it's how to help our children with music. And then I have this book with Dyslexia is a Trait of Genius. And I
Yes,
point out the, Leonardo da Vinci, Walt Disney, just it's beautiful. It's a beautiful book of inspiration, how the genius mind of the dyslexic person has to be unlocked, and we can unlock it when we use music. So Marvin, how can people reach you? Do you want to give a phone
sure,
number or
sure.
email?
People can reach me at Marvin Events 05@gmail.com. MarvinEvents 05@gmail.com. They can also reach out to me at 323-620-1678.
Okay, this has been amazing talking to you. Thank you for that. And you can always reach me at dyslexia-solutions.com. I look forward to hearing from you. And please leave some comments, subscribe, and like our channel. Have a blessed day now. Bye-bye.
Thank you.